Welcome everybody. Y'all ready for this? The Hustle. My name is Myriam Lopez, and these are my co-hosts.
I'm Talia.
And I'm Tech Luciano. You may have heard me on radio, you may have never heard of me at all, but that's okay.
Cause y'all gon' learn today. Your whole life was a struggle, had to make it out the jungle. This is a show for you. Welcome to the hustle. Under pressure, never break a fold. Keep chasing your goals until you blow. Now, welcome to the hustle.
Welcome everybody. We're back to episode 21 of the Hustle podcast. We're actually shooting this twice because Michael forgot to turn on the microphones. And
Shout out, Mike.
we had such a great fucking interview right there. Well, now we have very special guest Myriam Lopez in the building once again. So let's do it from the top, guys.
Do it all over again.
Thank you. I'm so happy
Welcome.
to be here.
So Myriam, why don't you let the guests, the viewers, know a little bit about yourself? What have you been doing? How did you get into the acting game? What inspired you to become an actor? And how was your upbringing like?
Okay. So, well, first of all, I'm from Mexico. And
I didn't know.
I know.
I had no clue.
You have to act surprised.
Okay.
And I was a teacher there. I grew up there, and as I was saying, everybody is so close, like so everything, like family together, and it's so different from here.
Mm-hmm.
But I loved it. I loved growing up there. And since I was little, I always had that in me. Like, I didn't have any inspiration. Like, oh, I watched that film and made me want to do it. It wasn't like that. It was more like, I don't know if it makes sense, but I had it in me.
Mm-hmm.
And every time I was pretending to be like someone else or like acting with my friends, they thought I was weird as fuck, but it was like, okay. And then when I was old enough to find out that it was actually a job, I'm like, oh, like I want to do that, you know?
Let me make some money, get into the acting game.
Not even
Not
like
even the
for
money. Just
but
for
it was like,
pretend
oh, that's
fun.
a profession. Like I can do that,
Just
know?
to play a different role.
Just like, oh, you can do actually for a job something that you love to do. Amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought I'd be an amazing actress, but I just found out I have bipolar disorder.
It's okay.
You can use that to your benefit.
Exactly.
I'm kidding. I don't know.
So, but my parents have a different plan for me. They were like, actress? No, not gonna happen. And I can, like, now that I'm a mom, I know they were kind of like protecting, but they didn't really.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't understand the lifestyle. They didn't understand
but it was like my dream, you know? You cannot force someone to be something else.
Yeah.
But it's also the old mentality of thinking,
Yeah,
right?
totally. And those countries
Exactly.
more. Like in Mexico, for example, I'm from it's not town anymore, but it's like a small city. So I will have to move to Mexico City, which is like more dangerous. And so my parents didn't want that. But when you have something in you, no matter how hard to try to do something else, it's not gonna work out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I loved being a teacher. I had a great time, but oh my gosh, like now that I'm actually doing acting, I can do it 24/7 without pay. I don't care, and I just don't have enough of it. And so one time, actually, one of the schools opened acting school in my city.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, this is it. That's my opportunity. I can actually do it. So I skipped school. I was already in college, and I skipped school, and I went for an audition. So they had me singing, and they had me like following like little direction. So he's like, you're really natural, like you have it there. Like, yes, welcome to the school. I was so happy. I'm like, it's finally going to happen. So I went home, and I'm like, so I'm gonna quit college, and I'm gonna become an actress. And my mom's like,
You said you had the love of acting when you were young and everything like that. But something happened along the way that made you forget about acting, made you focus on something else in a career path. And then you came to Montreal, and then you got back into it, right?
well, it wasn't that I forgot about it. It was just like I wasn't allowed to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And when I said that I was going to do it, that I was 18 and I could do whatever I want, which is kind of true. But at the same time, my mom is like, okay, we'll pay for it. But then the school from acting, it was from 8 a.m. to like 5 p.m. At what time, like not even like a part-time job. And in Mexico, to have a part-time job is like so bad paid.
Mm-hmm.
Like it wasn't going to cover that. So I'm like, you know what? not that I forgot about it, but I'm like, okay, so I'm gonna do the teaching, and I liked it, and it was fun. But then I came here, and my husband, he's an IT engineer, so he got a job right away. And for me to teach, it was gonna be impossible, like I had to go to college again. So I'm like, no. And I'm like, I want to go back to Mexico because I had a really good job over there. So my husband said, why don't you do something like new here? Like, you're in a new country, you can start, like, you always want to do
fresh,
acting. Why don't you do it? But I'm like, wait, you have to sit down because we're going to have a talk. And I told him, if I start acting, I'm not going to stop. It's something that I always wanted to do. So if in the future I get to kiss someone, which it happened already, you were there, I don't want you to start feeling like jealous or like, no, I don't want that anymore, like quit, because I'm not going to quit. So this is going to end up in divorce.
Yeah. It's a good thing that you had that talk right away.
Yeah, you put your foot down.
Exactly, because I'd rather don't have a taste of something that I love doing than after somebody else like take it away from me again, So, but he's been like a trooper. He's been so supportive, even with those scenes. He just doesn't watch them.
Yeah.
But he's really nice. Like, he helps me a lot because he works from home. So every time that I have to be on set or whatever, and my kids are there, like, he handles them, even with work and everything. So he's really supportive. And that's why I can do it. Yeah. Because it's a really hard career.
I need to get me a house husband. Bring in the bread, take care of the kids. I'm going to do hood rat shit with my friends. Bye.
No, but like you said, having that type of support really like helps you focus on what you got to focus on, take your career to the next level, and just focus on becoming a better actor overall. So that's really great. Your husband's a great guy for always being supportive. I met him. I had the chance of meeting him. He was taking care of the kids that day, and he was such a nice guy. What was funny that day? He came back and he saw my picture on the fridge.
What? Even my kids were like, yes.
Yeah.
What?
So we shot the short film, and in that scene, I'm supposed to be dead.
So they made like little.
So we put a picture of me and my girlfriend on the fridge, and when her husband came home that day, he found that picture of me, and he's like, "What did he say?" He said,
"Like, is that your new boyfriend?" Oh my god.
So yeah, that was funny. Talking about cinema, Hollywood, film, all over the world, what do you think of Mexican representation in film today?
Oh my god.
Like, we know it's the typical narco, housemaid, nanny. What do you think about that?
I hate that.
You hate
I
that?
hate it. Yeah, because I don't know. Every time they're looking for a Latin actor, it's for that, like playing the criminal, or playing the housekeeper, or the nanny, or the seasonal worker, or everything that has to do with those kind of jobs. And we can do anything else. Like, we can be lawyers, we can be FBI, police, like everything. So it's kind of like annoying. And for me, it's even harder because now when I get a chance to audition for like a Latin role, they say that I don't look the part. Yeah. Because the stereotype they have is more like Maya.
The Mayans, like
exactly.
Brown skin, more indigenous looking.
Like bigger, like thicker,
slanty eyes, just
like
a bit.
thicker nose, or like bigger mouths, and so. But when I audition for other roles, I do have my accent. So it's like, what do I do? Like, I can't change the way I look, and I'm trying to change my accent, but it's not working. It's so hard. And it's funny because when I meet people, it's like, oh, you have such a cute accent. I'm like, yeah, you want it? I'm trying to get rid of it.
Take it from me.
Yeah, please take it.
But even the skin tone, like we're mentioning, I would put you in the category of Diego Luna. You seem like a...
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's that's the skin tone right there. And he was in Narcos, and he played a great role. So yeah, that's the... If he can get in there and they're giving him the Mexican roles, it's a matter of time.
No, it's like Sofia Vergara.
Vergara. Yeah, but she has that Colombian
She does
look.
look Colombian.
I mean, yes.
And the talk, you know what I mean?
But
Yeah.
she's not. Yeah, but
It's the talk.
oh yeah, the more money she makes, the more accent she has.
Yeah.
Yeah, for true.
Exactly.
I'm saying the true. Like,
yeah.
she pays more and then she talks more like a Latina.
That's it. It's the more money she gets, the more
You
Colombian
just
she is.
fucking killed that. Okay.
No, but it's true. Like every time she gets more pay, like her accent gets more
I think that's why they're paying her so much,
I know.
because they love that
See?
accent.
So do you want accents? I can do a Latina accent.
Yeah, get it in there.
Tell them, girl. Scream at the top of your lungs. They're
Right.
listening.
So we asked you earlier, and now we gotta ask you again. Tequila or mezcal? Do you drink any of these, or it's not your cup of tea? You have another liquor that's not even Mexican that you
No,
love?
not your cup of tequila.
Tequila. I don't really like tequila. Like I do it more for fun. Like if I'm in a party and I want to get drunk and yeah, let's have a shot. Just it's not something that I will order. Like, oh yeah, I want a tequila. I actually like Bailey's.
Baileys.
Ugh.
Oh.
Ugh.
But Bailey's is a sweet liqueur. It's
Yeah,
not
but
even...
I mean I read like I can drink red wine. Like if I'm drinking, it will be like wine
Okay. So
or gin. I like
so like we
Like
mentioned,
beer?
there's no eating
I
the
have to
worm.
know. You like beer?
I don't
No?
like beer.
No. So no tequila, no mezquila, no eating the worm. No scorpions.
No.
Frog
Perfect.
legs? You like frog legs?
No.
So-
I'm so bad with food. I'm sorry.
So
And drinks.
moving on. You've been working on a lot of projects lately. We got to work on a short film together called
Yes.
On the Loose
Yeah.
with the wonderful Giuseppe Calvinisti.
Yeah, we love you, Giuseppe.
And that was so much fun. We had a fun time shooting that short. But I see you guys are also working on another short film right now called Inside. Tell us a little bit about that.
Oh, okay.
Don't give away too many details because
Yeah, I
it's
know.
got to be kept a secret. We know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, basically, because we were talking the other day, like how hard it is, this industry. As I was saying before, like sometimes you audition 20 times and then you get the role. And it's the reality for everyone. That's why they call it like a resistancy career. Because the ones that resist are the ones who make it. But it's so hard to give up. I mean, it's so easy to give up
Yeah.
because it's really frustrating. So one day I was talking to Giuseppe because we were talking about that. Like, oh my gosh, like I want to be working. So we're like, oh, let's do something. Because I really love working with him a lot. Like we have really good chemistry. And then we have another friend, Adria de la Parra. She's an amazing actress as well. And so the three of us came up with a story. And Adria is the one who finished the script. But the three of us made up the story, and it's really dark and cool, and we're really excited. We started doing the first day of film because I have to be in the lake. So we had to actually do it because it's getting colder and colder. And I'm like, okay, like I'm not getting in there when it's below 10, so we have to hurry with that one.
I saw the still of that one when you were in the lake. I thought it was gonna be a horror movie. The way I saw it, I seen something lurking underneath the water, gonna grab you guys.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And then the funny, well, not funny, but because I was getting in the water, when I stood up, I have a leech.
Oh no!
Ah.
Yeah.
Yeah, those
that's
things suck.
really when you love the art. Like not even in summer, I got in the lake because it's freezing. I don't like it. I don't like to be in cold water, but so I did it.
At least it's done. You got that out of the way.
Yes, but it's like we're really passionate about it, and both are super talented. So I think it's gonna be a really good film. The story is really nice. It's really original, I think, and we're really excited.
So you guys started filming it right around now.
Yes.
How long is it gonna take? Because I know you said there's some seasonal changes throughout the
Yeah,
movie.
because we have to wait for the snow and the beautiful coloring of the leaves and stuff. So probably 4-6 months.
4 or 6 months.
Yeah.
And then another 4 or 6 months of editing, or
Probably not
maybe
that
less.
much
Maybe
because
less.
It's not that
yeah.
complicated.
And you don't have trouble files to work with, so you'll have good audio and yes,
Yeah, we're gonna make sure of that.
perfect.
Yeah, so everything is ready from the top. Yeah,
Yeah.
and we don't have like visual effects, so it shouldn't take that long. After we're
And I already know Giuseppe works pretty fast when it comes to the editing.
yeah,
and
he's really
really
into
fast.
It. Yeah.
I like the model he has too. He has a model that a lot of people should take that to to heart and really go by it, it's what is it? It's
Better done than perfect.
better done
Better
than
have it done.
better having it done than not
than having it perfect.
than having it perfect. Like do it, at least do it,
Yeah.
so you have something.
Yeah, because people are like, oh yeah, no, like I haven't booked anything, no, but then they don't take classes, they don't practice.
Yeah.
Like you have to be ready.
It's better done
to
than
be
perfect.
auditioned.
That's what it is.
Better done than perfect.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, you can create your own projects. Like it's a really small community of acting,
Yeah.
so you know a lot of people, and you can collaborate, and you always have to work on your craft because it's hard.
Yeah.
And when you have the opportunity to actually audition for a role, you have to be ready. You cannot have that excuse like, oh, I didn't have time to practice. Then what are you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, don't show up.
Exactly.
Wasting people's time.
You're also working. You also did I think it was a TV series. You said a French
Yes.
TV series, and you were working with a great director, Oscar nominated.
Yeah.
What's it called? What's this?
It's well, his name is Philippe Falardeau. He's so nice. It's one of the best actors that I've worked with. You too. You too. But he's really like human, you know? Like those actors that are, I mean, directors that are in the big league sometimes are mean and like yelling, and
Yeah.
he's so nice. It's so like he makes you feel so comfortable and making sure that you're okay. I remember the first day I was on set, he came to me and he's like, I'm Philippe Falardeau, like thank you so much for coming, like I saw your audition, I loved it, like I'm sure you're gonna do a great job, you know, like not every director does that. And he's really human, like how are you doing, are you okay, like making sure you were fine.
Yeah.
And then I don't know, it was amazing too. I feel really like blessed that I had the opportunity to work with him. And when he tells you that you're doing good, it makes you feel, because sometimes in this career you doubt yourself a lot because you audition and you never booked anything, and it's just like hard. It's like, oh, maybe this is not for me. But then my agent tells me like it has nothing to do with the talent. This is how it is. Like it can be the length of your hair, your height, like everything. It's just like little things that they choose actors at the end. But if they keep calling you, it's because you're doing something good. So when I finished my scene, he went like, I loved it, you know? And actually, that was funny. We have another scene and we finished. I was pregnant for that TV series, so I had a fake belly and I was done with my scenes. I was just going to give the replica to my scene partner. So I get rid of the belly and everything. And then out of the sudden we finished. And then this girl is like, oh, let's get you the belly. I'm like, oh, no, I'm done. And she's like, no, you're going to do something else. I'm like, no, the other scene is for a different day. And then Philip is like, oh, no, I just created a scene because I love like the chemistry between you two. So I cannot talk about the scene, but he just created it in the moment.
Nice.
So
You got an extra scene there too.
yeah, so it's amazing. Like when he likes what you're doing enough to create something else at the moment, it was just like, wow.
I feel like that's super important too. Is like if you're the director, like you want your cast to be comfortable on set,
Exactly.
and like when you're hyping them up like that and being nice to them, like obviously it'll create some sort of like comfort for the
Yeah.
actor as well. So you're gonna get a better performance all around. So.
For sure.
Yeah, I make it a point to always like have everybody at ease. We're all nice. We're doing what we have to do, but it's a comfortable environment.
Yeah,
like you said, I've been around people that are assholes.
Yeah.
They're
And
assholes.
actors too,
yeah.
eh?
Yeah, I find like it's there's a certain rare breed of entitlement to some people. Like, oh, I'm the fucking best actor, and this is how I act. I'm a diva, basically. I'm Beyonce, which I've seen that plenty of times. But working with somebody that's like really grilling you and like yelling at you, that type of environment, I don't think it's not fun, and it doesn't give you the best results either.
Exactly. Because
Yeah.
you're stressing everyone out, and you're not gonna, it's just like when there's like negative vibes. I don't know, but he's amazing too. And I even in the wrap party, I told him like I was like so thankful, and I'm like, thank you so much, because you really make me feel like at lunchtime he came, he's like, oh, you did really good, like I'm so happy. Like, why is he gonna spend time on his lunchtime to come talk to me?
Yeah.
You know.
Mhm.
And but he's really, really, really nice. Like,
So it was a good feeling.
yeah, really.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, I'm so happy with that project. I can't wait to actually see it on TV.
Well, when can we expect it?
It's gonna be next year.
Next year. Next year, and then we're probably gonna see it on TVA, TV5, or
It's TV. It's called Club Illico. I don't know if I
Illico.
pronounced that
Okay.
correctly.
so whoever has cable out there, not me. I don't know
Yeah.
about you,
Cable.
but
Well,
I'm gonna
have to
find
pay
it
for
just to
Hey,
see
it's
Myriam.
still
That's it.
TV though.
Yeah.
It's still TV.
You also got to how we originally met.
oh,
We'll say the story how we met. I applied for it was a short film,
Yeah.
and I applied for a role of a guy that's organizing a party. My name was Marco. I'm a Latino guy, and Myriam was also one of the party goers, and that's where we met. So we met for this short film. It was called Wetmore.
Yeah.
We filmed it in January. You had a small role when we did that
yeah,
scene.
very small.
Very small role.
Yeah, like one scene,
And
7 line.
then 6 months down the line, something happened, and I got a message, and you got a message saying that we're reshooting this movie. And I'm like, okay. I was so confused. He didn't explain to me what we were reshooting. I thought we were reshooting the same scenes,
Okay.
so I had to wear the exact same clothes. I told him I don't look the same, and he's like, send me a picture. So I sent him a picture, and he's like, it had like fuzzy hair on the side. He's like, oh, it looks good. I'm like, but I don't look like the same from
I
last
know.
scene. And he's like, we'll fix
no,
it. We'll fix it in post. He goes, we'll
Oh,
use CGI.
damn.
I'm like, what? So then we go there. When we go there, what happens? It's not even this. It's not. We're not reshooting the scene. We're doing it completely different scene,
thing, Yeah.
and we're taking everything from the top. So yeah, working out Wetmore. It was your first time being a lead role, no?
Yes. Well, no.
Well, no, exactly. Not first time being a lead, but you said it's a short film. I think it's a little longer than most short films that we've worked
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
So I think it's really cool that you get to be the main focus of it. You had some intense scenes that involved kissing. I saw some of the behind the scenes, like that the Dang, the director, gave us a little taste of some of the stuff that you guys are working on.
Okay.
So I'm looking forward to it. There's a lot of good stills. Give us your take on being on that movie, being the lead role and everything.
Well, you know how it went. Like, it was weird because they were almost finished doing that movie, and when they called me for the small scene, it's because the actress got sick or something. Like, I have no idea of this project, so I auditioned and I got it. He made me audition that thing big for one line.
Mm-hmm.
So I went there in Is How I Met You, and then he called me. He's like, "Oh yeah, we have to reshoot." I'm like, "Okay." So I'm thinking the same. Okay, it's the same day, same outfit, whatever. And then he asked me if I could audition for the lead role, and I'm like, "Why? I'm not gonna get into it for respecting the other actress, but she's not there anymore." So but I had the TV series and I have other projects on the go. So I'm like, okay.
You didn't want to commit to something.
Exactly,
That's,
because he's like a lead, it's a lot of work. You know how it is. So I asked him, what about if I play the best friend, the one that Madeleine is doing? And he's like, oh, sure, yeah, just like audition. And then, so that was my part for the friend. And then he's like, can you audition for both? So I did. And then at the end, he called me like 4 days after, because a lot of girls were auditioning. And then he said like, oh, so people were voting and they vote like you play the lead. And I'm like, okay, can you send me the script first so I can see like, and yeah, honestly, I'm so happy that I got it.
Yeah, because you thought back on it, you're like, why would I not
I
want
know,
the lead role?
but it wasn't because I didn't want to do it. Like, of course, if it was a different time, I would have gone for it. But because I was working on other stuff, and I like to be really committed, and I always give my 100%. I'm really professional, so I don't like to do just stuff like, oh yeah, I'll do it, whatever, just to do it. But I'm so glad that I actually got it, because it's been so much fun. It's the character totally different that I'm always used to play. So I like it.
It's true. You don't kill anybody in
I
this
don't
one.
kill anyone.
Oh
in this
wow, I
one.
forgot about that.
I'm always killing. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so that's cool. You know, you have that to look forward to. I know it's going to take a while before it's finally released.
Yeah.
I think there's 1 or 2 days left of filming.
I think it's one more.
But when the edit gets done, it's going to be a arduous task. I know Dang V has his hands full because he has a lot of these after effects that he wants to
Yes.
implement into the movie.
Yeah.
And it's going to be it's a what's it called? It's a big task. I already know what it is. But I know that these guys work in that field.
Yeah.
They have After Effects knowledge.
Yeah,
He
he's
worked
been working on
D-Neg. He's been working
X-Men.
with X-Men and all these big movies.
Yeah.
So just by having that knowledge, and he's gonna apply it to his movie,
Yeah.
it's gonna come out really nice. I can
good.
already see it. Yeah.
Yeah, I honestly can't wait. It's been really fun, and with all the visual effects, I think it's going to be really something totally different.
Okay, so we have that. We got that out of the way. If you had the opportunity to get cast in your dream role right now, what would it be?
A vampire.
A vampire.
Yes, I love them. I'm obsessed with them.
Which movie was it that you first saw and you're like vampires and you're like, oh my god?
Well, honestly,
Or was it stories? Was it books?
It was Twilight.
I used Twilight.
Dusk Till Dawn for me. Dusk Till Dawn.
It wasn't really like a movie. Like every time since I was little, I will dress up either like a witch or a vampire. It was something about them, and it was funny because I used to have nightmares about vampires chasing me when I was like 7. I know, crazy, and now I love them. It's just like I don't know. There's something about them. Like they're magical. They're like so interesting and.
But are these like vampires and witches? Is it something that's prevalent in like Mexican society? Like, do people talk about them in stories? Or there's a
Well, witches, yeah, for Halloween.
yeah, brujas, obviously.
Yeah, las brujas.
But when I was watching Dusk Till Dawn, if you remember the movie, I don't know if you've seen the movie, no?
No.
It takes place in Mexico,
Okay.
and it's George Clooney, Quentin Tarantino, and they're two bank robbers that like rob a bank. They kill a sheriff or something, and they cross over into Mexico to hide out.
Okay.
And they go to a strip club, and everybody at that strip club are vampires.
Oh, with Salma Hayek.
Salma Hayek,
okay.
Cheech Marin.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my first actual X-rated vampire movie that I ever seen. And when I saw that, I'm like, holy shit, that was fucking intense. George Clooney was crazy in this. The vampires look super cool.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. So ever since I saw that one, that was the one that did it for me. That I'm like, I like vampires.
Okay. For me, honestly, like every show of vampires, I'll watch it. Like Vampire Diaries, even Twilight, I like it. But I like more bloody stuff. So Vampire Diaries has that because there's the evil brother.
Yeah.
He's crazy, like ripping people apart, and I'm like, that's so cool. I want to do it.
Oh yeah, that's so hot.
Which one did I like? True Blood. Remember True Blood? Did you?
Yes.
That was sick. That
Yeah.
was good.
Yeah, it's a good one, too.
True Blood was really good. Did you ever see it?
Yeah.
No,
No.
It's good.
I'm not a vampire
Sookie.
person.
Sookie, the girl.
I watch
Sookie.
SpongeBob.
SpongeBob.
So yeah, I remember watching True Blood. Towards the last couple of seasons, like I guess they took that break. It
Yeah.
was probably the writer's strike or something like that, and
Yeah.
it was like a whole year passed before they came back, and
Yeah.
I wasn't interested anymore.
Yeah.
And
doesn't have
I don't
to
even
be
know.
what
I don't even
used
know
to
how
be.
it ended or anything.
Yeah, but it was good.
It was the most unique one that I had
Yeah.
watched.
Yeah.
They had the nightclub with the vampires. They're drinking True Blood beer.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it was pretty cool. It was very cool.
And
I
really
liked
bloody.
it. Yeah, yeah.
There's something about blood. Like I love no real one. Like I'm talking about in set.
Mm-hmm.
I love like killing and having blood all over.
Yeah, why not? You get to release all your stress, go crazy on set, get paid for it sometimes too, and then you go home being back to a regular person.
How was your day, hun? Oh, it's great. I just stabbed someone.
Oh, and actually stab someone for real.
What do you mean? How did that happen?
And it was a film,
Okay.
and so this guy, the director, he gives me the knife. I was the serial killer. I was actually working with Giuseppe on that one, and I'm like, is that real? And he's like, yeah, because I'm like, no, like I'm not gonna use that. No, everything is like nothing is gonna happen. But then it's like I had to push a girl on the floor, and she had like like I have to put like a pillow on her, like for suffocating her, and then I was going to stab her. But then I don't know why she went like this, like
And
moving
she-
the hands.
Oh no.
Did it go through? Did it go through her
Almost.
hand?
No, I
She
I
probably
was
felt the
afraid to
tip.
do it. Like honestly, I wasn't doing it that hard because I don't like. I'm like, why do I have a real knife?
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
I wasn't feeling comfortable. And
Yeah, when we spoke about that too, when we had our short,
remember,
I was
but
very.
I was like so far
No,
away.
that
from
one
the
had
circuit.
nothing. There was no contact with anybody. It was just you
Exactly.
holding a knife, so we were comfortable
Yeah.
with that.
Yeah,
But if it had
exactly.
anything to do with close proximity to somebody,
Yeah.
you get a fake prop knife.
Exactly.
It's
So
$10. Rent it for the
So
day.
she moved the hand because again I have the pillow on her face, but I don't know why she went like. I mean, she knew what I was gonna do.
Mm-hmm.
So I went, but it was like it didn't go through, but it was a lot of. And she was like, "Oh yeah, I'm bleeding," and I'm like,
Oh no.
oh, like I felt awful, but it wasn't like you know, like they gave me the knife, but I felt awful, and then people. They were like joking, like laughing, like, "Oh, you can put that on your resume, like professional stabber," and haha. And I'm like,
Well,
"It's
You
not funny."
fucking
you know
assholes.
for next time.
Like I was so, like embarrassed, not embarrassed, but more like mortified. Like I
No,
was
like
really
you feel
worried about
bad.
her.
What the fuck? You
Yes,
just
I-
stabbed someone on
Exactly.
accident. Like,
Yeah.
Exactly.
No, that's
And it was a lot of blood. So every time I had to hold knives, or like I had a scene yesterday where I had a knife, and I'm like, "Is that a real knife?" And they're like, "No." And they actually, it was a real knife, but they,
it's dull.
yeah, like
yeah.
super, like I was like this and nothing was happening. I'm like, cool,
Yeah.
because I got like traumatized.
no kidding.
You almost killed somebody.
Oh no.
Hey, what if you got her wrist right there, her
Oh
big
my-
her big
yeah.
vein, and then
No,
she's
I
just
don't
pouring
even
everywhere.
want to talk about it anymore. It was, yeah.
Okay, cut.
I was in shock. I was just like,
Okay, so that's like the most shocking moment on set.
Yes.
What are the funniest moments on set?
Give
that
us
you've had?
something good. Anyone ever fart on set? Like during like a very awkward
yes,
scene.
the sound guy.
And it's the sound guy. That's the worst part too.
No, and I'm like, okay.
He's just getting those effects in, you know.
Okay, so
But the funny is, like, usually, well, only when you fuck up your lines, it's funny. Because honestly, when I'm on set, like, I'm really try to be in character, so I don't really pay a lot of attention
to
what's
anything
happening.
going around, yeah.
Because it depends, like, what kind of scene it is, like, if it's something, like, dramatic. Like, for example, with this guy, Felipe Falardo, my scene was really hard. It was, like, a super emotional scene, so I didn't talk to anyone. I was in my the room
Cocoon.
that they give you, and I was just, like, playing, like, music that makes me feel sad.
Were
like,
you
the
looking out a
moments.
window?
No, there was no window.
When I was a
there.
kid and we were in the car and a sad song would come
I
on,
know,
just
out
look
the
out the
window.
window and just pretend like,
In raining.
like your whole life is like coming to an end. Reevaluating every decision you made up until that specific point in your life.
Yeah.
Always
No,
helps brings out those emotions.
Yeah. But funny thing, I can't remember anything, like, really funny.
Nothing, huh?
No,
Get serious on set.
of course.
Only
No,
the
but
funny stuff happens to everybody else.
Like, probably when I walk out of here, I'm like, oh, but that's, gonna be
That's
too
what
late.
it was.
Yeah, yeah.
It's always like that. We always
I
ask
know.
when you get asked about yourself, you're like, "Fuck, I don't even. Who am I?
I
Like,
know.
What do I like? What do I do when I'm not here?" Like, so
So you got back into the acting game. You said how many years ago?
2 years.
2 years ago.
2 years and a few months.
2 years
3
ago.
months.
What's some tips that you can give us, like, if we wanted to get into acting? Like, how do we memorize our lines? How do you prepare for a scene?
Well, first of all, if it's the first thing, you have to go to class.
Mm-hmm.
I met actors that are like, oh no, I don't need classes anymore. Everybody does. Like, every time, like, even the biggest actors, they keep like taking classes. You know, like, there's something new that you can learn. And as for learning lines, I think everyone is different. Like, for me, what works sometimes, because I have 2 little kids, so that's a lot of time for me. So when I do my workout, what I do is, if I have like a huge monologue, I record it on my phone, and then when I'm doing my workout, I can listen to it. Or if I go for a walk, I actually have, the neighbors probably think I'm crazy.
Yeah, for
All
sure.
the time I'm rehearsing and, like, screaming and on the street.
So how many times do you think, like, you run it back? Like 100 times, 50 times?
Oh, for sure.
That's the hint right there. We just gotta keep
Yeah.
repeating the shit over and over again.
Forget that.
First,
Do you like not watch any TV? Do you not listen to any music? You just want to like have
No,
that
no,
stuck in
no.
your head and that's
Yeah.
it?
No, I cannot watch. Like I have to really concentrate it. And what I do is before putting the emotion, what I do first is I read the whole script because I want to get
A feel of
exactly,
the vibe.
or because every time you read the script, you discover something different. It's weird. So I try to read it like at least 4 to 5 times before I start memorizing my lines.
Okay.
And then I memorize. I don't put any feelings yet. Because some people are like, oh yeah, in this line, I'm going to cry. In this line, for me, it doesn't work that way. It's more like I'm really present in the moment and whatever I'm feeling in that moment, like you're never going to have the same 2 takes from me because the emotion is going to be different.
Yeah.
Because if your reaction is different and when I'm truly reacting to you, it's going to be like, I cannot tell, oh yeah, I'm going to cry when he does. No, it's just how it feels. in
Yeah,
the
can you
moment.
do that? Can you cry on command? Like,
She's good, yeah.
Ah.
We're not gonna make you cry on command over here.
oh,
Come
I was
on.
gonna ask her to.
She's not a circus animal.
I can. I want to try. Wait.
Yeah, you have to look out a window and just stare directly at something, and you get all blurry on your eyes.
That's easy. That's yeah.
That's the easy way. That's the cheap way.
But
Staring at something.
I mean, if you stare at something like no blinking, you eventually gonna get the tear.
We're gonna do this. We're gonna cry
But
today.
the thing is, what about? It's not only that you want the tear, you want the emotion. For example, some people think like crying is like, I have a boy. What that?
That's cheesy.
You don't cry like
That's
that.
cheesy.
Like when
It's
you're
fake.
crying, what are you trying to do? To hold it.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly.
When you cry, let's say you're my boyfriend, you're breaking up with me. I'm not gonna cry. Like I'm trying to hold it because
Yeah.
I don't want you to see me crying. So that's what I
So
think.
it looks like she was about to do it right there. Don't.
What?
It looks like you're about to do it right now.
I'm still trying. Like you guys are talking, I'm still trying.
You're gonna make me cry now. Enough with the crying, everybody.
I know, you know.
No crying.
I hate crying.
Mama didn't raise no bitch.
So look, I think we touched on almost everything that I wanted to touch on that we originally touched on the first episode. But
That wasn't recorded.
I want to get back to growing up in Mexico.
Mike.
Growing up in Mexico, making your way to New York, and then eventually settling down here in Montreal. Tell us a little bit about that journey. Why did you decide to come here to cold fucking Montreal?
I don't know.
Yeah.
So, yeah, why? Well, I grew up in Mexico and I loved it. It's a beautiful country. Like people are so welcoming. Everybody is so nice and everyone talks to you. Everybody's happy all the time. I think these are the weather. I think people are mad here in winter because I now I get it. Why.
Yeah, because you come here and it's Calles de tabarnak.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes, it's cold.
C'est bien frais ici, Jeanette. Calles de tabarnak.
And then, but somehow, even though I love my country and I love visiting, but it was funny since I was little. Even I told my mom like, "Oh, I'm not gonna live here." I was like 7. My mom was like, "Oh my god, like shut up," you know, like yeah, whatever. And so I turned 21, and I'm like, I'm gonna go live in New York. So I was the black sheep of the family because usually, what happens in Mexican culture, like you live with your parents until you get married.
Okay.
Or if you don't get married, then
You live with your parents for the rest of your life.
exactly.
For real? Oh my god, I would never.
No, for real,
I'm
but
sorry.
like you can. I mean, not
Of
for
course
the
you
rest of your
can.
life,
You know,
but
they're not
maybe-
gonna throw you out.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe
but
they will.
don't.
You never know.
But for example, my husband, he was living with his parents until he got married. He was 28 when we got married. So until 28, like me, I couldn't do it. I'm like, this culture is not for me.
Yeah, I think
I'm
it's
gone.
with the females. It's more you want to be the free spirit.
It depends. Like my sister stayed.
And I can see it from your husband's point of view. I get to
But
stay at
men
home. My
like to
mom
be
making me good
pampered.
food
Yeah,
every day.
men are
Of
babies.
course. I
don't have to pay any
Big
rent.
You
Fucking
don't do anything.
babies.
Yeah.
Exactly. Food is warm. Your
Exactly.
clothes is fold. And yeah, so I don't know. Like somehow I felt like I didn't belong in Mexico, which is weird. Like I love it every time I go there. I enjoy every single minute of it. But I was really happy in the United States. And then I met my husband. He's Mexican. So I went back to Mexico. And at some point I told him, why don't we go live somewhere else? And he's like, oh, okay. Like where? And I'm like, Australia. And he's like, no, that's like really far. We cannot do that. And so he said, I don't like the US, so what about Canada? And I'm like, okay. So we just hire a lawyer and we go to residency and we came here. Because yes, I love Mexico, but we were living in Monterrey, which is north. And it was a lot of like narcos and
It started getting a little more dangerous.
it was
Little
really
ghetto.
yeah. So I didn't want that for my children, and I'm like, if I'm gonna have children, I'm not gonna have them here. Like I don't want to be worried every freaking day if it was like a shooting at school. I don't like that.
What did you mention to me that you were preparing? You had drills.
Oh yeah, because I was a teacher in second grade, so they're 7 years old, and we have to get drills like get on the floor in case of like shooting happens, like not directed to the school, but sometimes you know how the bullets get just like so. Because sometimes I was at home and I can hear like shooting, but now it was like I was so used to it.
Yeah, you're like,
But
oh,
it's
it's
like-
firecrackers at
Yeah,
this
but
point.
it's like, oh yeah, another
That was just Daniel. See you later.
but you don't realize, and that's fucked up. Like you get used to it. Like it was a grenade in Mexico or something happened, and
Okay.
then one of my friends in New York called me, and she's like, "Oh, there was a bomb." I'm like, "Oh no, it was just a grenade."
It
And
was
she's
just
like,
a
"It was
grenade.
just like what?" The? And I'm like,
Yeah, it's cool, man. It happens all the time, bro. Like,
Wow.
what are
"Can
you
you
tripping
imagine
for?
like normalizing that?" So I'm like, "I don't want that." So that's why we came here.
So you talked to your husband.
Yeah.
You said Australia. Australia was one of the choices.
Yeah, for me it was.
Was there any more choices on that list besides Montreal?
Well, it was Canada.
Canada.
In general.
And then you
but-
just threw a dart and it landed in Quebec, and you're like, perfect, right here.
Why?
But let me tell you why. Honestly, I wanted Toronto, but when you apply for residency, you don't get to pick where.
Okay.
So they're like, oh yeah, it's Quebec and you have to learn French. So we went to school for like a year.
Of course, it's Quebec.
But the thing is, like my French that I learned, it was my teachers were from France.
But you learned French in Mexico?
Oui.
That's why. So you have the good French. You have
Je
the
peux parler français, oui.
yeah. I'm saying you have the proper French.
Yeah, not
the,
like,
the
hey,
the French.
hey,
French.
qu'est-ce qu'on fait pour on mange la dinde, là?
But that's the thing. When I came
You're
here,
like, what the fuck is this?
and they were talking to me in French, I'm like,
No,
What?
you're wrong.
What are
it's
you
wrong.
saying? What the fuck?
I don't understand.
Mm.
So it's been hard, but honestly I don't really practice a lot because every time like my friends either speak English or French, but now because I became UDA,
Yeah.
so now I get more opportunities to work on French sets. And at the beginning I was like, oh no, I don't want to do it, but then like, okay, I'll do it, and it's good money and it's good practice, but I have to be like this.
Yeah.
Like if I blink, I'm lost.
Yeah, you got to keep paying attention to every single thing.
To every single thing. And then with the mask and the accents, it's just like,
It's hard.
but I have to do it. I'm like, you know what? This is how I'm going to learn French Quebecois.
So you guys came here.
You don't want to learn French Quebecois, though. You
I
want
want
to
to
learn
understand it.
French, but not French Quebecois.
She wants to understand it. She needs to understand it. It
Yeah,
makes
because
sense.
I work.
I know.
on
I'm
set.
just saying the French here is.
So you guys
not
came.
French.
You guys came to Montreal. You settled in.
Yep.
Your husband was working, doing what he was doing. When did you say? When did you decide that I need to start acting?
Well, because I could not teach here. If I wanted to be a teacher, I had to go to college again. I'm like, it's not going to happen. And I didn't want to work on daycares. And so I was getting really into depression. Like, yes, I was a wife. Yes, I was a mom. But I was not doing something for myself. And I told my husband, like, I want to go back because I really like teaching. And I really had a great position in an amazing school. My pay was amazing. So I'm like, what am I doing here? And then it's hard from start, like from zero. We moved here and live in like this tiny apartment when we have a house in Mexico with a huge backyard and then a walk-in closet. And here it was just like, I'm gonna live here. Like we came here to have a better life. I don't see it.
I don't see it.
I don't see it. And then, so I'm like, I want to go back. And he said, why don't you try something like you always want to do acting, do it. So that's how it started 2 years and like 3 months ago.
Perfect. That's like I mentioned earlier, that having that support system
Oh,
next to
yeah.
you and really like helping you achieve and chase your dreams.
Yeah, without
is
him, I couldn't do it.
definitely
honestly.
needed. And I'm glad that that happened because we wouldn't have met each other.
I know.
And you wouldn't be sitting at this table right now. And we wouldn't be doing this podcast for the second time today.
I know.
But things work out like that in the end.
I know. Yeah, and I love it. Like every time I'm on set, like it doesn't matter. For example, I was on set Thursday and Friday for 14 hours every day, and I was happy. Yes, I'm tired, but it's something that I love doing. You know, like I can do this for the rest of my life.
Yeah, like even when we did that short film. No, when we did Wetmore, and we had to stay there till 3-4 in the morning.
Oh my God, yeah.
She's still. She looks like the most lively person there. Me, I'm like, I want to get the fuck out of here right now. I don't even want to do these lines anymore. I just want to leave. And she's like, okay. She's still good to go. I think you left after me, no? I left as soon as I was able to leave. I got the fuck out of there. By the time I left, I think you went home at 5 in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're a trooper. You definitely have what it takes to make it in this industry. I see great things happening for you in the future because you just put in so much work and so much effort into everything you do. So now it's that time of the day again that you have to drop a gem for us.
Second time.
I think now you know what it means when you have to drop the gem. You bestow a little bit of knowledge to the people, to the upcoming actors out there grinding, trying to make a better career for themselves.
Mm-hmm. Well, my advice is if you want to do something, do it. It's never too late to start or because it's not your language. Just leave the excuses. If you want to do it, go for it. And don't let anyone tell you that you fucking can't. Or that you're not worth it or that you're not going to make it. Prove them wrong and just work hard until you get it. And just love what you do. That's it.
Well, you heard her. You heard her, folks. Do what you do. Love it. And don't let anybody tell you otherwise.
No one.
No.
F him.
Not even your mama.
Mom?
Yeah, exactly. But I'll listen to my mom here and there. Yeah.
Not
thank
even
you.
your mama.
Thank you, everybody, for watching another episode of the Hustle Podcast, episode 21.2.
Welcome, everybody.
Y'all ready for this?
The Hustle. My name is Myriam Lopez, and these are my co-hosts. I'm Talia. And I'm Tech Luciano. You may have heard me on radio. You may have never heard of me at all, but that's okay.
Cause y'all gon' learn today. Your whole life was a struggle, had to make it out the jungle. This is a show for you. Welcome to the hustle, under pressure that will break a fold. Keep chasing your goals until you blow. Now, welcome to the hustle. Take money, make money, build a future forever. Even in stormy weather, we executing for treasure. The grind is real, you know. Got the willpower, Terrence Howard, hustle and flow. Rain, sleep, or snow. The odds against me for sure. I kick down them doors when they close. A sharp shooter, a motor.